of sports in Lebanon.
Can the financial returns from professional sports in Lebanon be the solution to our social, economic, and health issues?
This was our problematic question.
So our main subjects are economics, biology, and history, but we'll focus mostly on economics.
History of sports in Lebanon.
We're going to start with football. Football is football is still now to this day the most popular sport in Lebanon. However, it has undergone a lot of changes over the years. At the beginning, it blossomed during the 1990s, and the Lebanese Football Federation and League saw a great advancement as well. However, a steady decline during the 21st century, and there was the bottom line was the match fixing scandal in 2013 last year. And here are some notable players that played in the Lebanese league. First one is Mohamed Kalon. He's a Sierra Leonean player who played with the Al Mansour in Lebanon and then represented teams in Italy and France. Then there's the captain in Lebanon, captain of the Lebanese football team, Rida Antar. He also played with Al Mansour in Lebanon. Later on, continued his professional career in Germany. These are some highlights for it.
This is Mohamed Kalon.
And this is
He is
Rida.
90 Minuten. Und jetzt kommt was. Das beglückt die ganze Welt. Rida Antar, die spektakuläre Führung für...
Some more notable players. Yusuf Mohammed, also another player that played in Germany and the Lebanese team as well. And Alphonse Chami, a Cameroonian international, and also played with Nijmi in Lebanon. The decline. The factors behind the decline of Lebanon: political and social instability. Fans attending the games started going into conflict, mostly to Muslim sects. They got into huge conflicts during games, and eventually they stopped letting them go to games. So they played without the crowd. Playing without the crowd means almost no morale, and it was part of the decline. Also, decrease in quality. We aren't able to get any more players from high caliber players in the league, and there were also scandals like the match fixing scandal in 2013, and lower fan attendance. Okay, basketball blossomed during these years, primarily from 2004 to 2013. We welcomed players of high caliber from the NBA and NCAA. Also, the national team made it to 3 World Cups, and however, we had a problem in 2013 that led to our disqualification from the World Cup. That's in 2 years. Players as well. Joe Vogel, he's an American player who has a Lebanese nationality and represents the Lebanese national team. Eli Rustom and Samantha Walker used to play with LA Lakers. Jalen Flood, he played college basketball, however, he was not drafted into the NBA. The same thing with Corey Williams. Ismail Ahmad is Egyptian and played with Uvalde. And Earl Barron used to play with 2 main NBA teams, which are the New York Knicks and Miami Heat. Here's a clip. Just one clip to Friday for me. This is Samantha Walker.
Rory has alley-oop coming.
Another sport that's very popular in Lebanon is futsal. It's like the mini football. It's around 5 or 4 people play instead of 11. And we were ranked very highly, 34 in 2008, however, 2007. However, now we're around 48 in the world standings.
How can we be sure that we can generate money after improving sports conditions? Okay, so from the 1980s to the 1990s was considered the golden era for sports in Lebanon. Countless amounts of people used to go and watch the games. And okay, so if we can improve the conditions for the ways for the players and etc., we can bring more viewers to come watch the games, which will lead to more buying of the tickets and which will lead to more income for.
Okay, and the money can be used to improve the infrastructure of Lebanon, including renewing grids and improving them, also streets, and we can also improve stadiums and help financially support the sports in Lebanon.
However, the main economic issue here is player conditions and primarily the salaries, player salaries. In Lebanon, football players have around like $500, $600 as an average for a month for playing football. They don't have one job; they have around 2 or 3 jobs. So how can they focus on playing football when they have other jobs and problems at home and they can't get food on the table? That's why we should increase the salaries for the players, and they will perform better when they only focus on football. And here are some. This is a player. He's a rising star in Lebanon. His name is Hassan Mahmoud. He left Lebanon because of the problems in salary and placed in Saudi Arabia. Same thing with Roda Antar. He went to Germany. And here's another player. He's a Spanish international. He went to Qatar. Now in Qatar, when they get a player of that caliber, first of all, it endorses their league. Now people want to watch them because they have high caliber players, as well as higher, like people who are fans of this player will start looking at the club that he plays for.
So we can conclude that if our players are given better conditions, they can improve their gameplay. And this gameplay will attract other people, managers, etc., so that they can be taken into other teams. And from this, they get famous, and we can receive advertisements, which can also provide them. Okay, so it's also important to use the money we gain to improve our pitches, which is our pitches for any kind of sport. Because as we improve our pitches, it will attract more sports events, such as World Cups or just local tournaments, which will also generate very high revenues.
Also, there has to be professional people taking care of the pitch, not any person, because that's what's happening in Lebanon. Any person is taking care of the pitch, and it's not professional work. And it interferes in the gameplay. It does. Here are the main stadiums. The main stadium in Lebanon is Gamil Shamon Stadium. It holds around 50,000 people, and it's the main stadium in Lebanon. It's not just a football stadium; it's a gym as well. And this Gamil Shamon Stadium. That's the Beirut. Okay, we also hosted the Asian World Cup in 2000, and it led to high revenues. It was when the stadium was reformed. We hosted the Asian Cup final.
So, biology, benefits of sports. Physical activity and psychosocial health. Exercise sports may play a therapeutic role in addressing a number of psychological problems such as depression. It also increases self-worth, self-esteem, and self-perception. Sport and physical activity as part of a healthy lifestyle. In combination with other factors, exercising sports can promote a healthy lifestyle. Also, it can also contribute to the well-being of people in developing countries and have long been used in the treatment and rehabilitation of communicable and non-communicable diseases, such as cardiovascular diseases, which is the leading cause of death globally. Physical activity reduces the risk of cardiovascular diseases by improving glucose metabolism, reducing body fat, and lower blood pressure. Diabetes may be prevented or at least delayed by weight loss, having a healthy lifestyle, and of course, regular physical activity.
Now, obesity is a growing concern globally, and it's estimated that 400 million people in the world are considered to be obese. And the global rise is related to either a shift in diet or reduced physical activity. And now cancer, there are more than 200 types of cancer in the world, and it's estimated that almost 40% of the types of cancer can be reduced or prevented by a healthy diet, physical activity, and no tobacco use. Okay, now statistics have shown that there are 51 million children in the world aged 6 to 17 in the US, and about 27.5 million of them play sports. Adolescents and children who play sports are 8 times more likely to be active when they're 24 years of age. And playing and excelling in sports increases the possibility of students going to college and excelling in college, and thus finding better jobs and having higher income. Statistics have proven that more than 2 in 3 adults are considered to be either overweight or obese, and 1 in 3 adults are considered to be obese, and more than 1 in 3 children are considered to be overweight or obese, and 1 in 6 children are obese. And obesity could eventually lead to death, surgery, paralysis, and unemployment. And when a person is obese, he can't move well constantly, and this would probably lead to unemployment. And when he's unemployed, his economic situation would deteriorate, and therefore he'd have unpaid bills and he'd have to take loans. Therefore, like obesity gets him all these problems, and playing sports and physical activity would help him get rid of these problems. And also obesity is a cheaper alternative for dieting and weight loss.
Okay, here's a small video about sports and its health benefits.
Cricket, and when you play cricket, you get fit by running between wickets, running after the ball, and running after the ball because iron tennis. Thus, players can increase their concentration spans with this game. Further,
hello? This is so
for their physical health. Playing sports, indoor or outdoor, is important for the mental as well as physical development of an individual, and every sport has its own unique advantages. Let's look at a few sports and how they impact us. 1. Cricket. There are many benefits on playing cricket. Cricket helps in enhancing hand-eye coordination. When you play cricket, you get fit by running between wickets, running up to goal, and running after the ball to field it. When you play cricket, you will develop stamina because cricket games can last for a very long time. Thus, players can increase their concentration spans with this game. Further, football works very well to develop your leg muscles, namely the shins and thighs. Legs, being the largest muscles of the body, are the most crucial. They enhance muscle growth without overworking your heart. As you become fitter and are able to swim longer, your resting heart rate and respiratory rate will be reduced, making blood flow to the heart and lungs more efficient. If you're looking...
So here we're basically focusing on economics. In a normal country where they respect and appreciate and support sports financially, we can see here in England they make a lot of money, 20.3 billion in 2010 just from sports. Okay, here we can see it also offers employment. Okay, not only does it actually offer employment for athletes, it also offers medical staff opportunities and managers and also people in the background that we don't see. Okay. So we see, like, it's known that to make big, you have to spend big. Portugal, the government of Portugal spent around $732 million to host the Euro 2004. It generated around $1 billion. Okay. For the 2002 World Cup, which was co-hosted by Japan and South Korea, they built a lot of new stadiums and they renovated them. Japan paid $4.5 billion and South Korea $2 billion. Okay, and the revenue generated was well over $8 billion.
You may want to take a picture. It's going on.
Okay. The London Organizing Committee that organized the Olympics paid $2.3 billion and generated 7.15 billion pounds. Okay. So how much do you think Lebanon's budget is for sports infrastructure and development? It's $100 billion US. So you can compare the difference between the Lebanon and other countries that appreciate sport.
The whole budget is $100 million.
Okay, just to give an example, the Camille Chamoun Stadium costs $100 million US. So to build a mediocre stadium costs around $100 million. So to make a high quality one, which we're going to show you now, it's going to cost a lot more, but it's worth it.
Around the price of one of the main stadiums in England called the Emirates Stadium is around $270 million. And they have generated much more money over that. Even through the pitch improvements and everything, they've paid over $470 million, they've made more money after.
Okay. Sure, we just made a model of what the perfect stadium should be like.
Because to host a tournament, you can't only have one good stadium. Like we have only one good stadium, traditional stadium. You have to have at least 2 or 3 stadiums. This is another example of a stadium.
Okay. So an estimated high-quality stadium should have at least a capacity of 60,000 seats. It should have a very good grass quality, and it should have like all accessories available, including facilities and everything else.
Should be taken care of up to date, almost 5 times a week.
Yeah. Okay. And we can also even develop stadiums such as the Saida Stadium and Tripoli Stadium, which have a capacity of around 20,000 fan seats, and we can develop it. Thank you. Okay, this stadium was mainly built out of styrofoam and cardboard.
So it's much cheaper to build.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's convertible, so it's not just football. Could you convert it into?
Usually around here we'd have like tracks for running and for like the playing, yeah, like the sand and the high jump and the low jump. But we cut it open here so you can see it. Like, okay. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay.